Hello again, welcome back. David from Atomic Candy and the lovely Miss Lady Pop Hunter broadcasting from a double secret location.
Laugh now, because you clowns have been on double secret probation since the beginning of this semester.
Double secret probation?
Somewhere deep in the Carolinas, somewhere deep in the swamps. Double secret location.
Mm-hmm.
Double secret probation?
We don't even know where we are.
I know I am.
Yeah, I know you know where we are. Anyways, what we were talking about is we were having a conversation about it, so we decided to kind of share that conversation. Is what exactly is it that got us started collecting in the first place?
Oh, before we get started,
Yeah?
just wanted to let everybody know,
What's that?
Invader Moss, he is doing a massive
Oh, yeah.
giveaway
right.
now.
That's right.
So, he's giving away the entire It series to include chases.
Wave 2, it.
Yeah, wave 2.
Wave 2, it.
And the entire Stranger Things. I don't know which wave.
Yeah, probably the most current.
Right, to include chases. And then he's coming up with a third place prize. So go over to his channel, subscribe, let him know that, hey, and don't just subscribe to win, but
Yeah, check out some of his other videos, see what he has going on.
yeah, he does a lot of pops.
Absolutely.
He's a pop collector. So he does tours, reviews, and talks on that. So, and he's a pretty cool guy. We had an opportunity to meet him, and so yeah.
Yeah, tell him that David and LPH say hi.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Mhm.
what we were talking about was what was it that triggered the toy / action figure collecting in the first place?
Mhm.
What was it that really kind of got you started? And with me, it was, before I collected toys officially, I was into comic books, which I kind of stumbled into. When I was a teenager, one of the odd jobs that I did was it was the Alston Congregational Church, and I used to take out their trash. And sitting on top of one of their bins was the first 3 episodes of the 80s Green Arrow from DC Comics. And so I took them. And I read them and I liked it. And I went and I found more. And then I was at a yard sale where the guy had like the first 20 issues of the Flash 80s version that he had them all bundled together for like $2. So I bought that and read those and kind of fell into comics that way. Now, when you're doing something like that, one thing kind of leads to another sometimes. And on, what was it, Brighton Avenue in Alston, there was a toy store there. One of those little basement shops. And I went in there and checked it out. And one of the things that this guy had was the Land Adventurer. G.I. Joe Land Adventurer 12-inch figure from the early 70s.
Oh, wow.
In the box. It was like unplayed with in the box. And I had that figure when I was a little kid. But I've talked about this before. My mother destroyed it. Somebody gave me a Land Adventurer, and she stripped him down because I wasn't allowed to have more toys. I'm the kid that, like, if I found a squirt gun or someone gave me one and I came home with it, she'd snatch it out of my hand and snap it in half and tell me that I couldn't have a toy gun. But she took his little rifle and she took his little sticker and his dog tag and everything and left me just with the base figure, which I carried around all day, but that wasn't enough, so the next day she ripped him apart. And so I had him for about 24 hours. So there was my Land Adventurer sitting in this guy's toy store. And so I worked something out with him, and I bought it. And I still have the one that I bought, which I can't show you right now because he's in storage. We moved, so all of our stuff's in storage.
Yeah.
And that kind of is my one thing led to another. Fell in with G.I. Joe. So 60s, 70s, and 80s Joes. I really get a kick out of those. And so I started collecting those. And really became somewhat of an expert on 60s and 70s Joes when I was dealing in the 70s. When I was dealing in the 90s, when I used to do Great Eastern conventions and stuff like that, when I was still living in Massachusetts, every show I went to, everybody knew who I was. But I was kind of considered a Joe expert at that time. And a lot of people used to call me up or things like that. And, that leads off into other things. Next thing I know, I had a collection of Thundercats. Next thing I know, I had a collection of Migos, and it goes on and on like that. But the pinnacle for me, I believe, was seeing my land adventurer who was executed in front of my very eyes as a young boy of like 6, to see my poor land adventurer murdered. It was murder. She should have been tried and convicted for that. And getting him back and managing to hold on to him despite what happened to me with my ex, with all of the stuff that she ripped me off of. And that's what really kind of brought me to it. Is that over the top?
No, it's a interesting, colorful story.
Well, what about your interesting, colorful story?
I don't really have an interesting, colorful story. I only started collecting about
A couple of years
2
ago.
years
Yeah.
ago, and
It's my fault.
yeah, he bought me my first ever pop, and it was The Undertaker. And for me, it's just the nostalgia of everything, just seeing those items. Because if you've been watching the channel for a while, I collect Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe, and some pops from the 80s, 90s.
Wrestling.
Right. And some pops from the 80s, 90s, things like that. And for me, it just reminds me of my childhood when life was a lot simpler.
Yeah.
And, for some people, childhood was fun. For some, it was hard. But even during the hard times, you see those things and you remember it. And, it just brings back the memories. And my childhood was pretty good. So I remember sitting around eating cereal, watching Saturday morning cartoons or cartoons after school, because when I was a kid, after school you had cartoons, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and My Little Pony. All of those shows used to come on after school, so we watched them.
I know. I used to rush home to see Star Blazers.
Yeah, so we watched all of those shows, and it just reminds me of those simpler times where you didn't have a care, nothing mattered. It was just, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do today? Talking to your friends at school and all of that.
Yeah, you weren't able to keep track of time because time didn't matter.
Yeah, it was no time. It was, your parents told you when it's time to eat, time to go to bed, time to wake up to go to school, and then when school was out, you knew what was on TV, and then you started all over again. And you went outside and you played and you ran around the neighborhood doing whatever.
Yeah, summer felt like it was a year long.
Yeah, summer lasts forever.
And now it's like, what happened?
Yeah,
it's gone.
What summer?
It just evaporates. The first figure she got, by the way, was a Undertaker pop.
Yeah, I said that.
You said it was Undertaker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gave it to her.
Yeah.
Got things started because she's a big Undertaker fan, and I had given her a set of autographs.
Yeah.
It was an Undertaker autograph and a Paul Bear autograph with
him holding the urn.
Cert. Yeah, and I matted and framed it for her.
Yeah. So.
And that just kind of cascaded from there. And speak of the devil, look what we found.
Yep. That's my record.
This is her original record that she used to play as a child.
Yep. I bought that when I was in elementary school. I don't remember. It was either 3rd or 4th grade. They used to have this every month. Some book company used to send out this little flyer, and it had books, educational VCR tapes, and it had a record. And my parents would allow me to buy books out of that little pamphlet. And I would actually read the book. And that wasn't that expensive. But twice I got something that was expensive. And one of them was this Care Bear record. And I don't know if my dad realized how much it costs. I mean, now the price wasn't that much.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it cost, but it was one of the more expensive items. And I wore this record out. I played it like every single day. I just loved it. I mean, And then when me and David were dating, I don't know how it came up, but I told
She
him about
mentioned
it.
it to me.
And he bought me a record. And I forgot I had the record.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I still had it in my possession.
I got
It was
her
at
one
my
of
mom's
those little toy portable like record players like we used to have when we were kids. And I found this album, but I found a factory sealed one.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave them to her on her birthday.
Yeah. And today, because we're at my parents' house, we were moving something, and he saw this. And he saw this and was like, "Hey, wait a minute!" And I thought, something was about to fall, and it was this record.
Yep.
So, and I was like, "Oh my God, I still got that record."
Now, since she never opened the one that I gave her because she wanted to leave it sealed, she can take this one and put it on the record player and
I
listen
don't know
to
if
it.
it'll, because it has a little
Yeah,
wop
it's got
in
some,
it.
Well,
I saw a little bend. I mean, I'll try. Oh yeah,
oh,
right
yeah,
there.
It is. There it is.
I'll take the other one out. I don't mind. I just never did because I had put it up when he gave it to me.
Yeah.
And then, kind of forgot about it, honestly. But I know exactly where it is. But I'm a put it up, because once we get our collection room together, my intent was to display the record. So now I got both of them.
Yep. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool, and it brought back memories because as a kid we had a record player. You didn't have CDs, but you had a record player and a tape deck.
Yeah.
And I would sit in the living room and just play that record literally every single day. And I also bought the Schoolhouse Rock
That's awesome,
VCR tape, and I wore that out too. And I
love
probably
Schoolhouse
still
Rock.
got it if I look around because my mom doesn't throw anything away.
Schoolhouse Rock, ruined by Congress.
Yeah, I had the one, the bill. I'm just a bill. And when they were coming, they were telling you the history of the United States and how it got started all the way up to the Industrial Revolution.
They had politics, they had math, they had grammar rock.
Yeah.
But I used to love that. And they used to play on ABC during the commercial interventions.
Yeah, it was little snippets.
But then Congress said you cannot use cartoons for educational purposes, and so ABC fired the guy who was doing those.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, and they worked because to this day I can sing those songs. And I know what they mean. You get it. You know what they meant. The song teaching you to do the multiplication tables made sense, and you could still follow it along and do basic multiplication. They worked.
I remember when
it's a shame
because I got that VCR tape when I was in elementary school. Then when I was in high school, we had to take, I think it was civics or government, some kind of government class.
Yeah, probably civics.
And we had to recite the preamble.
When they still had that.
So, yeah, we had to recite the preamble. So I went and got the tape again so I could remember. And I sang the song. Because they had the song on the VCR tape. And of course I passed because
it was accurate.
Yeah. It was the preamble. So those were the days.
How it works.
Yeah.
And that's really what it all boils down to. That's what the collecting is all about. Kids don't buy toys anymore. No, they want to do this all day. And lose their mind in a video game. But we're the ones buying this stuff now. It's adults. Adult collector market is beginning to outstrip the child collecting market. Something that a lot of these toy companies haven't learned yet. Talking to you, Hasbro, with the They're the ones that bought out Kenner, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, and producing all that Star Wars merchandise.
Mm.
It's the kids aren't the ones buying this stuff.
And we were just talking about that a day or two ago. You know, who's buying these toys, and it is the adults. But if you look at the toys now, the toys that are selling, the companies have to reach back to your past
Yeah,
and recreate toys that were already made. And we were talking about it, and you can look at any toy line: G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, even the wrestling figures, whatever line is out there, it was already created, and all they're doing is making it again.
yeah. I mean,
Super
that's
Seven
Super
picked
7,
up the Masters of the Universe. It's the
Matty,
same one,
Matty
yeah.
Mattel.
It's the same one that came out in the 80s.
Which,
Star Wars.
when they do the wrestling figures, which ones sell out first? The classic
The
figures?
classic figures,
Yeah.
not the newer ones, because the adults want the stuff that they remember. So, you know, you go to Toys R Us, you see all this new stuff and it doesn't move, but you can't find the older.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does it?
it's new stuff, but the older characters.
Yeah.
You know what I
Newer
mean?
stuff, a lot of the newer stuff doesn't appeal as much.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, you got the newer Barbies, they don't move.
No.
You got well, I don't even know toys, so but
There you go.
that new stuff, it sits on the shelf.
When even like if you're a Funko collector, which ones do the best? You know, aside from like Walking Dead, for example, something that's
Yeah.
a real popular show.
Hmm.
It's when they recreate something that's older. That's why Ad Icons was one of their most
Yeah.
popular lines, which they finally, after like years, have decided to listen to the fans and make them commons. But those are the ones that are the most popular.
Yeah.
Speaking of nostalgia, you hear Thundercats in the background?
Yeah, it's my ringtone.
It's a ringtone. We'll check that in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what got us going
Hmm.
in the first place. And, you know, like I said, I ended up in the 90s. I got so into it, I ended up being a dealer while I was there. But more so of a collector than a dealer, really, because, you know, I would buy lots and I would keep what I really liked or upgrade what I already had. And then I'd turn around and sell or trade the rest. But I was doing it really heavy until I got nailed. Until my ex ruined that for me. And got back into it a few years ago. But
So,
what does it for you? What got you started?
yeah.
You, right there. I'm talking to you and you. What got you started with collecting? What was it that sparked it for you? What was your first thing? Go ahead and post it in the comment section down below. We'd love to see what brought you into the hobby. If you would like to correspond with us, send us a letter, send us something cool, whatever. We do have a PO box. I will post it here and down below. And remember, also give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, Invader Moz is doing his contest.
His
so
massive giveaway.
check
him out.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool giveaway. Check that out. And again, congratulations to the winners of our last giveaway, which we announced in the last video.
Yep.
So, anything else?
That's
Nothing else?
Yep.
Golly. Well, then we'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.